trophy is being handed over to the President of Sri Lanka Rugby, and this also signifies that this trophy is open for competition. The General Manager of Nippon Paint, Mr. Nippon will be handing over the sponsorship agreement for the season 2022-23 to the President of Sri Lanka Rugby, Mr. Ridley Lian.
We see is even after the 2 years of COVID, when we started playing, the clubs immediately got into action. The boys were sort of keen to go out, show their culture in the game, and the competition is going to be very tight. But this is going to be a very tough challenge.
As Nippon Paint Lanka, we have a responsibility towards local coaches and young people to showcase their skills. So this is an opportunity for Nippon Paint as a sponsor and for clubs and young people to come out and play rugby.
A very good scorching afternoon here from Police Park as we bring you live action from the final weekend of the Nippon Paints Rugby League 22-23, and it is indeed the plate final that we're bringing to you today. What a fantastic match we are expecting between these two Forces teams. The Air Force are the visitors all the way from Ratmalana. They've come to Police Park here in Bambalapitiya, the Field Force headquarters. And is it going to be a force field for Police? That's what we'll find out in just over 80 minutes time when they host the Airmen in what is going to be a crackerjack match against two teams that are very evenly matched with almost nothing separating them on the league table. Police Sports Club taking on Air Force live from Police Park in the Sri Lanka Rugby Nippon Paints Inter-Club Rugby League 22-23, brought to you live by adsart.lk. You're watching us, of course, on the YouTube channel of the Sri Lanka Tuskers, and it's lovely to have every one of you with us. This is a match that has been long anticipated, just like the one that we're going to see up in Kandy on Sunday as well. That will decide the cup segment, but this is for the plate segment, and the bottom four teams who are going up against each other. These are the top two of those four, and they will be playing for fourth and fifth on the league, of course. This is the plate standings. Air Force at the top at the moment. So if this game is a draw, then they will take home the plate championship, which is why Police absolutely must win this game. They're just 1 point behind, but that leaves them everything to do. You can see that even though Police have won 5 matches in the league, Air Force have amassed a few more bonus points, and as a result of that, they managed to stay ahead even though they have won 1 game less than their rivals Police. CHNFC and Army bringing up the final placings in the plate championship, both having seasons that they would rather forget. CHNFC maybe moving on a little bit with some of their players, their senior players not being up to scratch, and of course Army peaking much too late in the season. They came close against some of the bigger sides as well, but just unable to convert those good attempts into wins, and that's all that really matters for the points table. What we have on site for you today is Nuwan Pereira. Nuwan Pereira making out his number 9 jersey for this Air Force team. He's gone way ahead in the tries, conversions, penalties tally, and he's a leading point scorer of the league so far. We have Chatura Seniviratna, I believe. Chemud Mutunayaka, not from CRNFC, but we'll tell you who that is in a moment. Tharinda Ratwat coming up in third place. Prince Chamara, also of Police Sports Club, in 4th place. So 2 of the top point scorers will be on show today, and Chatra Seniviratna of CRNFC in 5th place. So it's going to be a nice battle with Nuwan Pereira, who's been very good off the tee, and that's something that they will be looking to do. Remember, there are no bonus points involved in this game. Well, of course, police will be looking for one, but for Air Force, bonus points will not make too much of a difference. They really have to win this game. So that's how they will be wanting to look at it. For them, it's enough if they don't lose, which means that a draw will be enough for Air Force, but unfortunately for police, that will not be enough. Here are the two trophies that they are on display today. This is the plate. Traditionally, the plate championship is for a plate, a trophy shaped like a plate, but they've gone a little bit off script this time. And the Nippon Paints Rugby League always doing something just a little bit different. The plate trophy is indeed a magnificent rugby ball that you see before you at the moment. That's what they're going to be fighting for today, as the president of Sri Lanka Rugby, Rizli Elias, and Ranmal Kodituakku, ASP Ranmal Kodituakku of the police look on. He will be hoping that his team will be holding that trophy up. Mr. Ranmal Kodituakku, a former sportsman himself, national water polo player. And this is the teams warming up. They've just gone inside the dressing rooms at the moment, but hopefully they didn't do too much warming up because it is a very, very hot day today at Police Park. Hopefully the sun will go down by the end of the first half, and the wind and sun will not be too much of a factor, but these early kickoff games are looking to be really difficult. That man in the center of your picture, Dunal Fernando, with the long hair, will be a feature today as Air Force look to use their line out. And police also have a very strong set piece. You can see them going through their paces there today, just getting a little bit of strength into those muscles, just getting warmed up, feeling the hits. High ball collections. Prince Charmer will be one who people will be looking towards to spark something with his experience from the police. And of course, the rolling maul and the set pieces will be two areas in which police will really look to compete with this Air Force team. And while we wait for kickoff in this plate championship, we will come back in just a moment.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint.
सखी मन बंदिना विश्वासे हाथ बेंदुना जीवितये रसमावना
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම
Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
Very good evening and welcome back to the Police Sports Club. I must apologize, I made a mistake earlier on. It's DIG Ranmal Kodituakku, of course. He was an ASP when he joined the police. That's my mistake. And these are two teams that will be doing battle today. Nirmal Vikramasinghe, Parakram Ratnayak and Dilshan Farid in the front row for the Air Force. Tilantha Javira and Dunal Fernando in the second row. Dilan Fernando, Denuwan Vikramarachi and Captain Sarka Veral, a former Captain Sarka Veral at number 8. He's been full of running. Nuan Pereira, the man who we've been talking about a little while earlier, and good to see a return to the paddock for Gayantha Indamalgoda. Surat Bandara has been a force to be reckoned with on the left wing, and Surya Kishan and Ishara Madhushan have been really the rock of this Air Force team in the centres. Darshan Adabari will be looking to get a little bit of space, and Rumesh Ramdas has been safe as houses at the back, so let's wait and see what this team can do. They will be assisted, of course, off the bench by Manuka Pereira, Shamika Kaushan, Shashika Fernando, Vimukti Fernando, Isuru Jaratna, Kavisha Kaluarachi, Arosh Ratnaik and Kamindu Dilshan, and the Air Force bench has a little bit of quality and experience about it. This is the home team, the Police Sports Club, Amjad Paumi, Deshan Fernando, Hashan Fernando, Charaka Surya Perumal, Mohan Vimalaratna, the captain, Udaya Sajura, Lahiru Tilankaratna, Shanaka Harishchandra, the former captain as well at number 8. Primex Danushka and Johan Piris have formed a good partnership. Praveen Stefan on the left wing with Rukshan Madhushankar and Akash Madhushankar. Probably the weakest area of this police team in the midfield. Sujan Kodituakku and Shane Hopwood at the back. Danushka Edrisurya, Rasit Silva, Duranjana Vijayasinghe, Heshan Tilakaratna, Hafiz Tabit, Prince Chamara, Shavin Javadan and Vihanka Piyuturu in the reserves for the police team. So we see Captain Ishar Madhushan, who is introducing his team to DIG Ranmal Kodituakku. And Group Captain Subhash Chandrasekhar. It's a big match, of course, for not just for the two teams and the players involved, the 26 players, but there's a lot that goes into the whole setup for rugby, especially in these forces teams. A lot of organization, a lot of administration. It's a big match for the officials as well, who have been behind these two teams from the start of the season. In fact, before the start of the season, from the start of the pre-season as well, where the coaches have put in so much work. And at the moment being welcomed onto the pitch as well, Mr. Nemant Abesurya, the general manager of Nippon Paints, who are the very generous sponsors of this Nippon Paints Rugby League. Group Captain Subhash Chandrasekhar and DIG Kodituakku, and now joined by Mr. Nemant Abesurya of Nippon Paints, being introduced by Mohan Vimalaratna to his team. The breeze has certainly picked up here at Police Sports Club. The grounds look very dry. Just a little while ago, maybe just about half an hour or 45 minutes ago, the grounds were being watered, so that's just how dry the weather has been here in Colombo. That might be a factor, of course, for the ball rolling a little bit further than anticipated by the kickers. Might also make for some running rugby, whereas hard grounds really produce that kind of Surya Perumal at the back of that huddle. Experienced player. The police really want this one. There's nothing in it between them and this Air Force team. 29 points to 28 as the league table stands, and this is the man in the middle. All eyes will be on him, of course. Ishan Kabekun, assisted by Kalum Sandaruan and Sarat Madugalla. And joining me in the commentary box, Mr. Clifford Surendran. Good evening, Clifford.
Good evening, Shanaka, and good evening to all our viewers. Fantastic afternoon and early kickoff here, and it's full of sunshine and beautiful pitch. And this is going to be an exciting game between these two forces team. But actually, if you look at it, police have done reasonably well this season, and under Nilufer's guidance. And most of the time, it's been a narrow escape for the teams who have been playing against police.
Yes, they have really competed well. And what we were talking about earlier was the fact that even though they have more wins than the Air Force team, they have 5 wins, Air Force only have 4 wins, and still managed to come up just 1 point lower So try scoring has been a bit of a problem for this police team. I'm sure they'll be looking to set that right today. Perhaps they've been saving their best for the last as Ishara Madhushan kicks off this plate final between Air Force and Air Force and Police SC. Still thinking of the cup final, which is to come in a couple of days. Primesh Danushka with a beautiful dummy. Straight down the short side he goes. And this ball will bounce its way into touch, but early attacking intent from Primesh Danushka and the police team.
Well, amazing start, Chanakar. It was pretty much unexpected. They were looking for a pretty much a settled attack, but then again he was show and go, saw that gap and penetrated. Good start, good yardage gain here for police.
Really good eyes up rugby from Primesh Danushka. Realized that Air Force had not committed men to the short side. And a lovely little dummy. It's a skill that we don't see often now, but Dunal Fernando is the man who is imperious in that line out, and he will be a key factor for them. Air Force to try and spoil Police's ball. They like that first front foot ball from Police. Nice little confident step. Time by Nuwan Pereira. The ball doesn't go to touch. Run back hard by Police. It's Praveen Stefan. Here it is once again, a lovely angle from the Police forwards. Primesh Danushka with some quick ball one more time. Nilufer Ibrahim will be happy with what he's seeing in the early moments of this game. Stepping back inside the Police outside centre. Sujan Kodithuaku. Here it is for Danushka once again, standing at first receiver, looking to dummy his way through. But Air Force able to snaffle that ball and get to the breakdown as well. This is the area where Air Force, I think, have been superior to most of the other teams in this competition, the league competition, including the cup teams, Clifford, because their position over the ball, Shamli Nawaz has really done fantastic work with these players. And it has been really good work over the ball. But again, Ishara Madhushan with a costly miss, not finding touch and giving Police the opportunity to run this one back. Coming back was Rukshan Madhusankar, the winger in centre field. Air Force trying to drive over this one, but Mohan Surya Perumarada has it at the back. Nice flat ball. Almost through the tackle. Oh, it's a good run by Lahiru Tilakaratna. Air Force team comes up quickly. It looks like he might just have snaffled that ball, but just enough done by the Police player on the ground to make it available. Ball sits up nicely for the Air Force defense. Here's Nuwan Pereira trying to find a way around this defense. Dragged to the ground by Shane Hopwood. Madhushan. And now they will push it back, and this is what I was talking about, the hard ground. You can see the dry patches and the ball bouncing a little bit further than expected, but Primesh Danushka is there. Big up and under. Madhushan to chase. Iddamal Guru to chase. This ball comes off Madhushan's thigh, so there's no knock on. Interesting presence of mind from the Air Force captain. It's a long passage of play. Almost 3 minutes, I would think, that we've had without a break. There's going to be some tired legs at the end of this passage. It's been helter-skelter stuff, going from one end of the field to the other. And Danushka will look to find touch, but hasn't been able to. It's been charged down, and the ball beats everyone into touch, and there'll be some big puffs at the end of this particular passage of play as the ball finally goes out of play.
Well, Shanak, what an amazing start for this game. Both teams fired up, and you can see Police moving that ball around, and pretty much Air Force was playing for survival in the first few minutes, but now they have started attacking. The best thing is they got the ball about 3 occasions, but they managed to put it out. But this time they got the ball again, and I think hopefully they'll be able to work something out from that. But again, it's a Police throw in.
Nicely won at the front by the experienced Surya Peruma. Driving the small forward. Gained about 10 meters, but they're at the wrong side of the pitch for it to mean a lot. But interesting Moral boost for them, of course. Here's Police trying to run it out of their own 22. There's that hard ground I was talking about, making running a little bit easier and defending a little bit more difficult. Good gain by Police, running that out back to their 40-meter line. Here's the experienced Amjad Fahmy. Johan Piris now putting this ball to the boot, and it's a very good kick, an outstanding kick. In fact, that'll be a 50-22, one of the few we've seen in this entire league competition. And what a kick that was from well behind his own 50-meter line. And we spoke about this before the kickoff, Clifford, about the ball really bouncing on this hard pitch, and that's exactly what it's done. And this is going to create havoc among defenses.
Well, Shanak, also you can see Police look very calm and settled, and also they're playing with a lot of confidence. But on the other hand, Air Force, well, second to none. They also have the confidence, but again, it's not working well for them. But it's pretty much Police have the ball in their hand.
Going to the back, but unfortunately for Police, it's overthrown. Picked up by Haris Chandra. Manages to find the onrushing Fahmy.
Tackle, release, release. No.
Release, says the referee, as it's stripped nicely by Air Force, who are really good in defense. Their tight skills are excellent, as Gayantha Iddamalgoda puts that one up. I'm not sure that was a well-judged kick. Here it is now for the willing running of Praveen Stefan. Iddamalgoda was not left with a lot of options there, but not sure he took the right one. Thumping it out into touch was probably the best thing he could have done there, but went for the high-risk move. Coming back inside towards his support was Madhushankar. Acting as a scrum half is Praveen Stefan. Again, Air Force strong in their defense. Rimesh Danushka. Lovely little show and go again from the Police player. And not releasing the ball, says the referee Shankar Bekun, and he's right on the spot there. And Air Force will get their second penalty, and Ishara Madhushan really has to kick this one to touch.
But Shanak, also you can see both the teams are using the width of the pitch very well. You can see them running the ball pretty closely, and it's pretty evident. You can see Stefan Praveen coming into play twice and dragging the ball, and this is something very important, and this is something like very exciting to watch as well, using the width of the pitch.
Akash Madhushankar found wanting there. He knocked the ball on and then grabbed at it while he was on the floor, so no getting away from that one. Here's Saraka Veralla discussing what they're going to do off this strike play. He runs some good angles, Veralla, and they have been excellent with this short line out. Dunal Fernando. It's a quick ball. And here it is indeed. Veralla is the man. Amjad Fahmy does brilliantly over the ball. And again, it's been stolen back. So 2 turnovers in quick succession there. Excellent technique from both teams. Here's Dunal Fernando using that back of the hand offload. It's been knocked on. And knocked on by an Air Force hand, says the referee. Interesting to see that one again.
Good to see some beautiful fast rugby. And both teams defending very well, but losing out the ball on a couple of occasions. A little bit of ball handling, but I wouldn't say it was ball handling errors. Basically, those were steals like in basketball, and it's pretty exciting to watch that. Two hyped up teams, and they're contesting. This is simply like when they're playing for pride. I would say that.
Well, it's also for a trophy, Clifford. Want to make sure that they have some silverware in their cabinet at the end of this. Primesh Danushka, first scrum of the game, goes well in Police's favour. Air Force lucky not to concede a turnover there, and he's gone for it again. Has Johan Piris, and you can't blame him for trying because his first kick was a brilliant one. But unfortunately, he's just put a little bit too much on that. And it's gone out on the full, which means they'll come all the way back.
Well, probably trying to save some energy. The heat is pretty much out there and trying to gain some yardage. Yes, it makes sensible, and like Shanak said, yeah, he did well in the couple of first kicks. But Sri Lanka Air Force and Police, two great coaches, and tactical play will come into and also the skills which we can see, like they are doing some fantastic work out on the field here. Police, a surprise package this year with so many youngsters, and they have done so well to get to this stage. And also equally, Sri Lanka Air Force under Shamli Nawaz have fared reasonably well this season as well. Definitely it's going to be a silverware for whoever the winning team. And considering the challenges we had throughout the last season and this season in terms of financial challenges, especially most of the teams are facing, and this is going to be a great reward for them.
Certainly is. Don't forget to tune in to the Sri Lanka Tuskers YouTube channel and Facebook, of course, and Sports Ads and Sports Now as they bring you the Under-16 All-Ireland Invitational Rugby Tournament 2023. That's in next weekend, 25th and 26th, live from the Trinity College Rugby Stadium up in Pallekele. Pallekele wasn't around when you were in school, was it, Clifford? I mean, it was, but you didn't really use it too much.
Well, during our time, we were the ones to play the first game there against Vidyartha. So that was in 1997, and from there onwards, it's history. So it was at that time there was no pavilion; it was just only the ground and a little bit of fence around. And I remember Isipathana, we were playing the game there, and the Isipathana boys came, the spectators came, and actually till 8 in the night, some of the spectators were still struggling inside to get out of the ground, and pretty much they were lost.
I can certainly appreciate that. Getting out of Pallekele is not easy, neither is getting out of your own half, as Johan Pires has put just a little bit too much on his second kick in a row. So that's what you call a coach killer. There he is. Wry smile, but good to see his teammate Rukshan Madhusanka coming over and just consoling him. So that's two kicks that would have been brilliant, but just went a little bit too far. Johan Pires is a transformed player. You can see he's worked a lot on his fitness in the last couple of months, much more so than he has in previous seasons. And he has almost single-handedly brought this Police backline into what it is now. His positional play and positional kicking has been excellent. Nice flat ball out to Dabare.
Get back.
Air Force needed to get there quickly, and they did just in time. Nuwan Pereira smashing into Saraka Veralla was Hanaka Haris Chandra.
No, you lost the ball. Stay back.
Pereira with some quick ball to Gayanthi Malgoda, who goes for the long cutout pass.
Tackle, release it.
Again, Praveen Madhusanka has done well to stop that play in mid-tracks. Here's Ishara Madhushan, the heavily strapped knee. Goes to ground. And now it's available. Some numbers on the short side for Air Force. Dabare opts not to give. Goes instead.
Back.
Straight through the middle.
High tackle.
Looked like that tackle might have been a bit high, which is why the referee has his arm out. Veralla running onto this ball at pace, and he's lost it, but they'll come back for the advantage. And that was Air Force stringing a few phases together and looking dangerous, Clifford.
Yeah, Shanaka, precisely. It took 7 phases for them to get there. Beautiful passage of play and nicely working that ball around. And they were going for that, and they had plenty of support going into Rux and Moss. And that is what it matters. The team is playing, gelling well, and they're playing together. And there's plenty of support. That is something important. And, well, Police did well, but unfortunately, their tackle, they were unable to stop that.
It's Darsana Dabare who figured prominently in that build-up play there for Air Force. They've kicked predictably. This is a run by Madhushan, the captain. Sorry, that's Darsana Dabare, in fact.
It's okay. It's okay.
Ball was brought down, but referee says legally, and Police will be very happy about that. And the experienced man, Chanaka Surya Perma, telling the youngster Dunal Fernando exactly how to win a line out and set up a maul. Dunal says thanks very much, but I'll take my advice from my coach. And he has a few others coming in to support him as well, the youngster. But this is all part of the game. Nothing in it.
Well, looking at the hype of the game, it was pretty expected. And we're going to have more of this, I'm sure, for that. But anyways, all settled on field. And police have the ball. And get out of jail card for police. Air Force pressing on for the last couple of minutes. It's been Air Force who's been having the ball. We've been seeing more of it. Now it's a chance for police to turn things around.
So mistakes from both teams, allowing the opposition back into the contest rather than actually good play from either side. Air Force did well to get to this point, but then have stuffed it up, and police too have just kicked some really good possession away. Good to see the man at the bottom of your screen, Surya Kishan. Be good to see him have that ball in his hand from the Air Force point of view. While Primesh Danushka opts to feed this scrum on the left side. The traditional feed. And you can see that this police scrum is very strong and very confident. It's one area where I'm sure that they would wreak havoc against this Air Force team, just as they're doing now, trying to milk the penalty. But Air Force have done well not to give too many away, as Shanaka Harishchandra comes away with it from the number 8 position. And they have milked the penalty and they've won it as well. So this is an area where Air Force will not want to get too involved in the scrum. Don't forget Rasit Silva is still to come off the bench, and big man Amjad Fahmy has been doing his share of the work both in the tight as well as the loose. Johan Pires will kick this one long, and it won't matter from his own try line how long it goes. But he's won his team almost 60 meters there. Wonderful kick. He's playing with the wind, of course.
Yeah, pretty much so, Shanaka. They've been kicking with the wind. And look at it. Well, it's quite interesting to see Shanaka Air Force when they're going in for the defense. You know, instead of going for the tackle, they're pretty much going for the ball. I think something that they've been training, I guess.
Depends on what position you catch the ball carrier in. If they manage to get him upright like Harishchandra was at that point. Dunal Fernando lucky to get away with that. He was all over Surya Peruma in the air there. Looks like he has got his hands on the ball, and it might be a return of the favor from Air Force. But that's why it's so important as to how players get to places, and it'll be interesting to see whether Dunal has a bit of a word with Surya Peruma, but opts against it. Good maturity from the youngster.
Well, the way the game was started was pretty much expected to get some points on the board. 15 minutes on the clock, and still it's all even. It shows the level of contest. And it's a plate final. And both these teams, they have done really well to get here.
It has been a 100 miles an hour kind of game so far. But both teams struggling to finish. Just probably the nerves not allowing them to put the last touch, get the last pass away, get the kick to pinpoint accuracy. Again, this midfield scrum will be something police will be looking to attack. Interesting to see Harishchandra binding in that number 1 channel. Want to get a shove going, so should probably bind between his locks. Surya Kishan that time running a nice angle off his number 8. The police line very slow to retire, so they've got some advantage. Here's Dabare, who sparked that attack down that left-hand touchline a little while earlier. Nuan Pereira. Now Gayanthi Damalgoda will put the kick up. Nicely taken that time by Primesh Danushka, who's running that second line of defense, but they will come back for the penalty. It's very clear that police's lazy runners were not back in time for Nuan Pereira to start that attack down the short side. So police discipline has kept Air Force with good territory. Madhushan with the kick. And he'll find his touch just about on the 10-meter line. So Air Force will be hoping for a better driving maul. The penalty was just before that.
Time off.
Vidya Malgoda looking for that little chip kick, so it's pretty clear that they've spotted some space in behind the police first line of defense, and they're looking for that, but may have just put too much on it. It's very difficult skill, even though we talk about it. Don't forget the All-Ireland Invitational Under-16 tournament next weekend from Pallekele, live on these same channels.
Also, Shanaka, also I see than the set pieces, both these teams prefer pretty much of a running rugby and like a loose rugby, and not trying to make much out of the set pieces. They just want to secure the ball, and there's no much ploys coming inside, or rather working that ball around. But then again, instead of that, they prefer to run that ball freely. That's what I see here.
Set. Steady.
That was a mistake that would have had the Air Force bench and supporters tearing their hair out. They've come so close, but just not been able to convert that line out. Police will not mind holding this one in the scrum a little bit. Marching Air Force back, and Air Force are also keen not to give away the penalty, but just to go back with that ball. Ball went backwards that time, so no stoppage. Taken forward by Johan Piris that time, finds himself at the bottom of the ruck, so somebody will have to act for him. Nicely done that time by Police, good hands. And Primesh Anushka opts for the kick. He was right on the 50-meter line, but really well read by Dabare, stepping back off the right foot. We'll need some support, and Air Force do well to get back.
Back.
Dabare didn't panic.
No hand.
It was a very good kick by Primesh Anushka, putting the Air Force backline under a lot of pressure.
Oh, don't do that.
And Nuan Pereira now faces the touchline with that left foot kick, so he puts that one into touch. It's good to have a left-footed kicker, gives you so many options. And on that left side of the field, with the box kick, makes all the difference.
It does, Shanaka, and good afternoon to all our viewers. If you're just joining us from home, you're watching the encounter between Police Sports Club and Air Force Sports Club for the Nippon Paint Rugby League Play Championship Finals here at Police Park, live and exclusively brought to you by Sri Lanka Tuskers. You can watch this live on the Sri Lanka Tuskers Facebook page. And brilliant day for rugby. Both the teams had a good start, exciting start, and almost 20 minutes on the clock. No points have been scored yet, but the intent was pretty much high.
Stopping for a breather, and why not, just at 20 minutes. It's been a scorch over day, and both the players and the referees will be needing this. Nilfa Ibrahim is a water carrier. Air Force team have Gayante Iddamalgoda undergoing a little bit of attention. Ishara Madhushan, the man in your picture, will be frustrated that they've got some good plays going, but not managed to put any points on the board. Police, of course, are with the wind. The wind will die down in a few moments, Clifford, so it probably won't be as much of a factor in the second half. But for being with the wind, Police would like to have at least 3 to 6 points on the board, I'm sure.
Well, also, Shanaka, if I'm not mistaken, both teams, they had a fair share of penalties. Police had about 2, and Air Force surely had 3. But none of those penalties were from kickable distance, so they were unable to go for the post. But on the other hand, the way they have played, I would say equally, the defense has been quite well as well. So that's one of the reasons they were unable to break the red rock.
Certainly. Defense from both teams has been very good. Turnover skills displayed from both teams have been good also. A match befitting a plate final for sure.
Time on.
We've still got an hour to go. Ball is over the top and taken that time by Nuan Pereira, who puts boot to ball very quickly. Police were in an attacking formation, so they've got to rush back. And Dunal Fernando is there to stifle any kind of running out by the Police counter-attack, but Police have done really well to salvage this ball.
Now use the ball.
Primesh Sanushka will now hand it back, and it's knocked on there by Johan Pires. It wasn't a great pass, to be honest. I think he was expecting it to go to his truck runners to give him a little bit of an angle, but Primesh Sanushka chose to give it straight to him. Wasn't expecting the pass and concedes a scrum.
Wow, it's a little bit of breakdown of communication there. But on the other hand, Air Force, they did so well. And tremendous pressure on Police now. And could be a chance for Air Force to make something out of it. Probably convert this opportunity to points.
There you see it. It's not a great pass at all. Can't blame Johan Pires for that one.
Set. Steady.
Primesh under a little bit of pressure there.
Step out.
And this Air Force scrum really will need
Step out.
to make sure it does well, and it does. Surya Kishan drop to ground, gets up and goes again. Referee says that's okay. And now as close to the line as they've ever gotten. Air Force with the picks and go. Veral, one man out, asking for the ball. Really good defense that time by Surya Perumal to drive back the Air Force ball carrier. But Air Force will come at them again. Picked up. Here they are, they're just rolling towards the goalposts. Gantith Damalgora directing traffic behind his forwards. Pick up and go from the big number 2, that's Parakrama Ratnayaka. Again, the front rowers rolling towards the ball, towards the line. And unfortunately for Police, they read the move, came up quickly, but a little bit too quickly, says the referee, and they've conceded a penalty.
Well, it took 8 phases for them to get there, but unable to convert that. And having said that, by the 6th phase, referee was playing advantage. And the Air Force knew that. But once again, Police under pressure. Opted to go for the scrum. And considering the intensity, I think they could have gone for 3 points. They're given some advantage for them.
I think the adrenaline is really pumping for both these teams, Clifford, and they might need to calm that down a little bit to just try and get some points on the board. Give the forwards a little bit. Veralla goes off the back as expected. Almost on the way to the line. The ball drops, but what does the referee say? Did it drop forward or back as Police come away with it? So again, a vital drop at a vital moment. Police now running it out of their 22 through their captain Vimalaratne. Ball goes to ground again. It's a comedy of errors here. And the front rowers for Air Force will try to settle this one down as referee Abe Kun just obstructs Nuan Pereira for a moment there. And here it is for Rumesh Ramdas, but unfortunately he can't hold on either. In fact, that was Denuan Vikramarachi. And the penalty was coming for that lift in the tackle. Finally, I think we might see the top point scorer of the season pointing towards the posts.
Well, that was a little bit of Ajibadi, yeah, but actually double turnover. But finally, with that lifting tackle, Air Force winning that penalty, and this is a sensible decision. Probably they can go for 3 points, and if they can convert that. And look at that. That's the tackle. Oh no, the first one he was off, the second one. And well, mate, you shouldn't be doing that. And that's Hashan Fernando.
There's no release in that, was there, Clifford? He made a good tackle, but needed to release the player before binding on and trying to jackal. And for the left-footed kicker, this is probably the easiest angle there is. Just about 25 meters out, and Nuan Pereira is not going to make a mistake. That's why he's the highest point scorer of the season as he draws first blood here. It's taken almost 26 minutes to get the first score on the board, and it falls to Nuan Pereira of Air Force in this plate championship between Police and Air Force. It's been a really hard-fought game. The quality of rugby hasn't been fantastic, but the quality of the defense has been a little bit better than the attack.
Well, that's a massive morale boost for the Air Force. 3 points on the board. They'll give the psychological advantage as well. But let's see how Police are going to handle that.
Police, can they finish this half strongly? Hopwood.
No hands on the ground. You can't.
There was definitely a hand in that. Referee Abekun didn't need a second invitation.
Well, the interesting point is what the decision is going to be. Yes, they're opting for a scrum and sensing that they're within touching distance, probably maybe a sensible decision going into halftime, going in with a lead, probably will give them some psychological advantage. But that was good passage of play. Air Force trying everything, but look at that replay. Opting to go on his own hop foot, stepping inside, and you can see the hand coming in there.
Fine.
Well, referee would have spotted that, and that's a penalty right in front of the post.
Steady.
And scrum in favour of Police.
It was Paraka Ratnayaka who just couldn't resist having a go at that ball even after the ruck was formed. Picked up at the back by Shanaka Harishchandra.
No.
Brought down a couple of meters short of the line.
Get back. Get back. Last foot.
Air Force defence has withstood 37 minutes, but can they withstand 2 more before half-time? Primesh Tanushka looks to go himself.
Release now.
Been finding a few holes on the fringes of this Air Force defence. Yeah, the big forwards of Police are much heavier than their Air Force counterparts, so they look to use that to their advantage. Almost over.
No.
It's a good tackle by Javir, and just not enough on that ball there. And the referee will call up Ishara Madhushan. Have a word.
General warning कर देना next time मागी लंग step पे देना message दे देना ऊपर general message
Not retiring behind the last foot, I think is what the referee is saying.
Wait. Go back. Calm down.
Well, Police thought they almost had it, and Air Force, they thought they almost had it. But it's going back into a scrum in favour of Police. So this is the third opportunity that they're getting it within the last 10 minutes or so inside the Air Force territory. Unable to cash them in. And going into half-time, I'm sure they really would like to have some points on the board.
Stay bound. Advantage.
Shanaka Harishchandra going off the back once again, but they have the penalty already.
On the line.
Surya Perma looks to go. Deshan Fernando now standing over the ball.
On the line.
Amjad Fahmy lays it back nicely. Danushka looks to go himself, but is pushed back. And outstanding work by Nilantha Jayavira there to snaffle that ball, but they come back for the penalty in the scrum. So the scrum is really letting Air Force down. Deshan Fernando was forced to stand up, and the referee deeming that was the fault of the Air Force front row.
Fourth occasion for, or rather fourth opportunity for Police Shanaka. Been there for the last 10 minutes or so, and it's almost half time on our clocks, but let's wait and see for the referee's whistle. I'm sure a couple of minutes will be added, but they really have to make something out of it. If not, all efforts will go in vain.
Bye. Set.
Air Force need to be careful here. They're in the red zone and will not want to give away any yellow cards to start the second half with.
Save out. Save out. Ball.
Harish Chandra picks it up and goes into his own players.
Last foot.
So all the police players need to retire.
No. Don't do that.
Straight over the top of that, says referee Ishank Abekun. Amjad Fahmy was not the player at fault, but the player who was bound onto him was. And they opt to kick it into touch behind the goal line, not taking any risks at all from under the goal posts. And after what seems to be an age, we come to half time. It's been one of those games where nobody's really managed to trouble the scorers too much. Nuan Pereira with the only score of the game so far. 3 points to nil, Air Force lead at half-time in this plate championship game between Air Force and Police. And although we've seen some really entertaining rugby and some almost tries, Police have got so close but not been able to finish and put the icing on that cake. We'll make way for the Police band and be back with you after the break. Some highlights from the first half. Not a lot of them point scoring, of course, as that was the only real point scoring opportunity of the half, although many broken field opportunities did present themselves. They were not taken. We'll be back after the break.
The largest paint supplier of Japanese vehicles. Original equipment manufacturer approved Max Premila 2K is the most premium quality auto refinishing solution you will ever need.
Play to win the game. We'll take care of your aches and pains. Sidale Spray. Trusted for 8 decades for quick relief from all aches and pains.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්නා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම
Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
The largest paint supplier of Japanese vehicles, original equipment manufacturer approved, Nax Premila 2K is the most premium quality auto refinishing solution you will ever need.
Play to win the game. We'll take care of your aches and pains. Sidale Spray. Trusted for 8 decades for quick relief from all aches and pains.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්නා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම
Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
The largest paint supplier of Japanese vehicles, original equipment manufacturer approved, Nax Premila 2K is the most premium quality auto refinishing solution you will ever need.
Play to win the game. We'll take care of your aches and pains. Sidale Spray. Trusted for 8 decades for quick relief from all aches and pains.
Welcome back to second half action here. Live from the Police Park on Sri Lanka Rugby Tuskers Facebook page as well as the YouTube channel. Little bit of a chat between the two captains of Police and Air Force with the referee Shankar Bekun, Ishara Madhushan and Mohan Vimalaratna. Conveying the message from the referee are the captains saying don't put your hands beyond the ball before you try and play. It's 3 points to nil in favor of Air Force. Lots happening, of course, in this first 40 minutes, but none of them actually turning into points except that 3 from Nuan Pereira. And this man will be key to Police's chances. A lovely hanging kick by Johan Piri, such a talent. Here it is going straight through from Air Force trying to attack. Lovely step there from Nuan Pereira. Running away from his support players, unfortunately. Mohan Vimalaratna trying to get his hands on the ball, but unfortunately for him, the referee deems it was a little too late.
Well, what a start, second half. Well, the much expected first half, it was only 3-0. And this presents the opportunity for Air Force to go for the post again. And I'm sure they'll be extending the lead. That's what they want to do. And Police, only they have themselves to kick. In first half, they had the opportunity 4 times pretty much under the post. They could have gone for 3 points to make things even. But right now, seems like Air Force have the opportunity to extend the lead. 3-0 already on the board. And this game is going to get exciting.
It's a repeat performance of the first half, wasn't it, Clifford? When Primesh Danushka had down the short touchline. And this time, it was Air Force's turn to do that. Dilantha Jayavira. Mohan Vimalaratna was on the ball but got rucked off it. Cleaned out nicely that time by Nirmal Vikramasinghe. And Pereira will aim to extend his tally as top point scorer of the season so far, and it's good. He's deadly from pretty much anywhere in his own half, Nuan Pereira. Sparking the attack for this Air Force team. But there's still nothing in it, 6 points to nil. Nice long run up that time and putting his foot through that ball. There's plenty of distance to spare.
Well, this is going to put Polish even more under pressure. They tried everything in the first half, but they couldn't crack that Air Force defense. And they have to try even harder.
Another lovely hanging kick, but that time also taken really well by the Air Force player. Dunal Fernando will now look to run it. Here they go through their big prop forward, Dilshan Farid. Here's space coming up again now for Rumesh Ramdas. In fact, that's Denuan Wickramarachchi with number 15 on his back. Madhushan will look for the kick. Nicely taken by Hopwood. It's not a very good kick in return though. Now opening up space for Air Force to counter-attack. Lovely offload that time. And here's some space on the outside, but 2 Air Force players running into each other. And that move comes to a premature end.
Well, Shahnagar, the Air Force team looks like a charged up bunch of bunnies. They look so excited, or rather overexcited. But that's the spirit. And they're in a very, I wouldn't say very comfortable position, but given the circumstance in the game, 6 points is massive right now because the defense for both teams has been fantastic. Look at that. Trying to charge through. And that offload. 2 players going in there. And very unfortunate. But right now, Police, they have the ball in hand. Looking to turn things around.
Not sure if they've actually narrowed the pitch a little bit. Police, they're entitled to do that, of course, as the home team. That ball spinning all the way around and Primesh Danushka coming away with it. Police dominating at scrum time, but Air Force doing equally well not to give away any penalties. They've been very disciplined even though they've been driven back, resisting the temptation to stand up or crab walk. Rasit Silva has come into play now and he'll be full of handling, of course. The senior hand at Police. Hopwood, who's gone into the scrum half position. Primesh Danushka may have swapped places with him at fullback. Here's Ramdas running it up, presenting nicely on the 40-meter line. Nuan Pereira for Gayanthi Malgoda. We haven't seen much of him. And that was accidental offside. Absolutely nothing in it, because he was well away from any opposition player, but referee Shankar Bekun choosing to call it nevertheless. Not sure if there was a material impact on the play there at all.
Well, that's the replay. And he was just standing there, Nirmal Vikramasinghe in fact. And this man has done tremendously well so far in the game. So 6-0 on the board, Shanaka. Do you think Air Force can take this game away from Police?
Well, Police absolutely have to score next. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a try or a penalty, whether it's a 7-pointer or a 5-pointer, they just absolutely have to score. This man has done his share, Akash Madhusankar.
But looking at the number of opportunities they had in the first half, the latter stages in fact, I think, do you think it was bad decision making or maybe it was too overconfidence? I'm not sure what you call it.
I think it was just a little bit of nerves from both teams. So you see the dignitaries looking on from the Police pavilion just in front of us.
Set. Steady. Steady.
Important scrum for Police to use as an attacking platform. Shanak Arish Chandra goes off the blind side. Dragging it into the 22-meter line is Rasit Silva. He'll take some bringing down. Offside, says the referee, as Air Force are now under pressure.
Number 12, number 10, offside.
Well, it seems like the Police, or rather Air Force line, caught offside once again. They could have gone for the post, but opting to go for touch. And, well, I think missing on the opportunities to reduce the deficit here, Chanaka.
I agree. Clifford, 3 points would have been a nice platform to start again from. We're already offside before this play. Important line out and slightly overthrown that time. Came off a Police hand, so it will be a knock forward. But Air Force won't want a scrum, they'll want to clear this one. That's exactly what Nuan Pereira does. But not outside the 22, so they'll still have a little bit of pressure.
Well, I'm not sure whether to call it poor decision making, but probably that could have been the ploy. And they're trying to execute that, but unfortunately it was a turnover.
That's a much better line-out drive that time from Mohan Vimalaratna at the front of it. The captain dragging his team forward about 12 meters there. They've got it at the back. Ball available now for Police. Can bet your bottom dollar they're going to use their big forwards now.
Back.
Cutting back infield was Rukshan Madhusankar. He's a big man himself, even though he's on the wing. Primesh Danushka has moved back to scrum half. Good ball presentation. And Madhusankar driving it forward. Mohan Vimalaratne barging Parakrama off the ball. Good tackle that time by Denuwan Wickramarachchi. And over the ball is Wickramarachchi that time. Doesn't manage to get it out of the hands of the police player. Ball has been stolen and hacked away. Air Force chasing hard. And the police player doing really well to thump this one forward. All the police players are offside now. And there's no one back for Air Force.
No. Ball is away.
It looks like Denuwan Wickramarachchi would have fallen over the ball and gotten away with a penalty there. But there will be a small discussion with the assistant.
Thank you, same side ball.
Referee conferring with both assistants and coming back to the scrum. Police with a good counter ruck there.
Bye.
Well, both teams, they're quite good in stealing the ball off their hands. It's quite interesting to see. And we saw that happening once again here. But right now,
no stability in that before. Taken quickly by Nuwan Pereira. Looks like he might look to go himself. Running into the 22. He can't afford to lose the ball here, and he doesn't.
No, run away.
Not yet anyway. Sarakavera led us brilliantly to stay with his scrum half. And here's some numbers opening up for Air Force. They've got men over. Must send it through the hands, and they eventually score. The try is eventually scored by fullback Rumesh Ramdas. Just reward for this fullback for what has been yeoman service to Air Force Rugby and indeed this season as well. But it was a quick thinking of Nuwan Pereira. There he is again handling. Denuwan Wickramarachchi almost mistimed that pass. And that time it was Parakrama Ratnayaka who managed to get the ball away to Rumesh Ramdas to score. And we spoke earlier, Clifford, about how police needed to score at that point. So needed to score next. And this might just be the try that takes them away. But don't forget, Air Force were leading by 21 points against Navy at Valisara before Navy came back to win that game. So they will remember that. They have the experience of that. They'll know that it's never safe.
well, until the final whistle, you never know. But then again, on this occasion, police defense, well, they were pretty much clueless, but ball was nicely worked. And beautiful final offload by Parakrama Ratnayaka. And that's the killer try. And 11 already on the board now for Air Force. Police had plenty of chances to reduce the deficit. But some bad decision making, or maybe they were too excited to go for the 5 points. Hooked it in a little bit too inside, but still safe. 11 on the board. And that's going to give somewhat of a cushion here, looking at their defense. So from now onwards, I think they have to heavily rely on their defense, because police will be attacking pretty much harder than before. And Air Force, they have to rely on their defense.
Strong breeze coming in from the police mess side. And that's from the bottom of your screen on the bottom right. The breeze is coming right across to the top left. That's what pushed Nuan Pereira's kick a little further than it would otherwise have gone. But Police now absolutely have to score next to keep the pressure on this Air Force side. Johan Pires. Another lovely kick, but Police not able to get under it. As Saraka Veeralla, with a good take and run up, will try and use this restart. It's a good restart. Raveen Stefan to Hopwood off the left boot. Taken by the try scorer Ramdas. Police looking to attack, Air Force rather looking to attack.
Advantage. High tackle.
Tackle was high, says the referee, so Ishara Madhushan will be quite happy to kick that ball away and get the penalty and play the game in the right half of the field as far as Air Force is concerned. No arguments about the high tackle there.
I think Shanaka, now onwards we can anticipate a little bit of slowing down the game by Air Force. They probably want to drop the speed, reduce the momentum, or rather to break the momentum for Police and try to keep the ball in hand. So these are the tactics probably they'll employ. But on the other hand, Police have nothing but to do other than attacking.
Heshan Tilakaratna that time with the high tackle on Nuan Pereira. And Air Force this time making no mistake, finding touch.
Ten meter back, get back. Get back. Back.
Won easily by Dunal Fernando that time. And the four-man driving maul does well for Air Force. And now after it has moved through the 1 meter mark, the rest of the team can join. Mohan Vimalaratna somehow swims his way to the back of that maul. Here it is for them once again as Kanti the Malgoda doubles round running the decoy line.
Offside.
Veralla
Number 2
takes the ball off Nirmal Vikramasinghe's miscue. And again a penalty coming for offside. So you can see Police's discipline are letting them down, and Nuan Pereira should have no hesitation in stepping up for another 3-point opportunity.
Well, surely they'll go for 3 points. Yes, makes sense. They have the lead. They want to extend that. So right now, Police, they have to score twice now. And to make things even, they have to cross the line twice and convert those 2 tries if they're scoring. 11 points to nil, 56 minutes on the clock. And Air Force, well, both the teams, they had the opportunity, pretty much the equal opportunities, I would say, compared to how we started. And that's the replay of that attack. Pushing Nirmal Vikramasinghe to going in for the ruck. And probably you can see the hands coming in, referee pointed.
Well, we spoke about that breeze coming from the bottom of your screen towards the top, and it's pushed Nuan Pereira's kick to the left once again. He'll be annoyed with himself for not realizing exactly where the wind is coming from, especially after his last kick. But that's a let-off for Police, and might it be the let-off that they needed?
Time off. White number 19. White number 19 change. Number 9. 9 change. 17.
Police slowing the game down, maybe needing to get some composure, maybe got an instruction from Coach Nulufa Ibrahim to just settle it down, get your breath back. These big forwards do need a little bit more recharge time. Not sure why they let that bounce, Air Force, but it's worked out for them as Ishara Madhushan, the skipper, runs and runs well, but runs him his way away from his support. I thought Police were unlucky not to get the turnover there. Denuan Wickramarachchi, and he loses the ball. That's not the first time.
No, ruck.
Straight over the top of that, but the ruck was formed, said the referee. And Nuwan Pereira shakes his head.
No.
Referee clarifying his call there. Johan Perez slices that one badly off the side of his boot. And here's Ramdas again.
High tackle.
Looks like that was the second high tackle by the man who's just come in.
Number 2.
That was a little bit horrible there, but then again, yeah, for securing the ball, that's what is important for them. Police, they only have to kick themselves. They had the opportunity once again. It was a poor kick. I thought he was going to dispatch that to touch, but unfortunately couldn't find touch, and he was kicking along with the wind.
So this is where the tackle was made, and yeah, it's interesting that it's the second time by the same player. That's Heshan Tilakaratne.
Yeah.
And the referee Ishank Abekun opts not to go to his pocket. Probably looked a little worse than it was though. Thrown in by Nirmal Wickramasinghe that time.
Back.
Again, not finding. Yeah, Sulantana Vijayasinghe, crowd favourite here. Grey hair and all of it, but has not lost his go forward.
Go back.
Hopwood. And here's some numbers over on the side for Police. Good tackle in the end by Sudat Bandara on Sujan Kodituakku. The ball going to grounds. And Air Force will need to keep their discipline because suddenly 11-7 and it's a whole new different ball game. Beautiful pass that time, and this is the man who gave away the penalty, Heshan Tilakaratne, who rumbles his way into the 22. Deshan Fernando now takes it on. Veralla. Here's Madhusankar. Lovely run, strong run from Madhusankar. Cuts back infield. And here's the try, the first try from Heshan Tilakaratne. We just spoke about him not getting a yellow card. And you can see what a difference that decision made. Because he has scored the try that may have just blown this game wide open.
Oh, we have seen that time and again, but then again we have to go with the referee's calls. But right now, what is important is Police. They cross the line. They've been trying it many occasions. And look at that run. Madhushankar going wide right out and stepping back inside. And that gives the advantage to gain some very important yardage. And Heshan just crossing that line.
It's a really good run for Madhusankar. He's the one that created that by drawing the Air Force defense to the right, then cutting back in. And there was a yawning hole that Tilakaratne just burst through.
Number 4.
And as I said before, Clifford, 11-7. And suddenly with their tails up, Police will be a completely different proposition. So it'll be interesting to see what this does to Air Force's body language as well. 5 points left on the park by Nuwan Pereira, who missed a conversion. That was a difficult one. But the penalty was not so difficult. Oh dear, oh dear. That was a bad miss from Johan Perez. Hasn't been having the best day, although he's a much better kicker than that. Maybe fatigue setting in a little bit.
Surely he was out on that occasion. And, well, slightly stressed out as well. And maybe pressure. You know, it's a crucial game. You have to deliver. sometimes
Time on.
some players cannot stand up for the big games, but he is a player who is a classy player who has done it in the past, but today is not his day. 11-5. Game is pretty much open right now.
It's still within that 7-point gap, of course.
Shanaka Police bringing in some fresh legs, really help them out.
Yes, that power off the bench, that's what created the try as well. Heshan Tilakaratna full of running.
Back. Last put.
See, he wants to be in the thick of things, and Dulanjana Vijayasinghe, who's just come onto the pitch, with all his experience. That kick straight down the center of the field, and again Air Force let it bounce, which is not the preferred method of fielding these kicks. Rumesh Ramdas does well to stay on his feet.
Back. Get back.
Iddamalgoda. Haven't really seen him too much with ball in hand. High up and under, but nobody's chasing it. And here's Praveen Stefan. Good run by the winger, but a lovely tackle. And the ball going forward. That was Ishara Madhushan, who made a skipper's tackle there on Praveen Stefan. Textbook tackle, sitting the player on his backside, and he'll be happy with that.
So Prince Chamara there. You can see man frustrated, but you can't blame him as much. It was pretty much an offload, which came in pretty much unbalanced as well under pressure.
Right, boys in. Crouch. Bye.
Shane Hopwood now going into strong half again.
Steady. Step out. Number 2, step. Ball is
Big pressure on that Air Force scrum once again. Iddamalgoda will look to run. Here's Ramdas straightening. Cutting back in fields was Sudat Pereira. Sudat Bandara. And here's Police now, who've stolen the ball away. Here's a try scorer. Creating havoc, the big man Tilakaratna with number 8 on his back. Prince Chamara to Rasit Silva.
back.
Hopwood. Lovely angle from the skipper. Vimalaratna can't get his hands free though. Up to the 40-meter line.
Offside.
Ball drops forward. And picked up there. But the referee says that there was no advantage and he'll come back for the offside penalty. And depending on his confidence, Prince Chamara is on the pitch as well. It should probably take
Number
the 3.
34 offside. Number
15
34.
minutes left on the clock. It's exactly what Dulanjana Vijayasinghe is asking, and he agrees with me. So they will be going for 3 points.
Well, finally, some sensible decision. Had they done this before, this deficit wouldn't have been there. But 11-5, if they can make it count, it'll be 11-8. Then from there onwards, game on. And 65 minutes almost on the clock. Highly important. Let's see who's going to take the kick. And Shaveen Javardhana.
So they have 3 kickers in their lineup on the field at the moment. Johan Pires, or he may just have been substituted. Well, those pictures telling the story. Shavin Javardhana looks like he might have pulled it a little bit to the left. Indeed he has, and Air Force will be in no hurry to play this. Was the right call, but of course your kickers have to oblige. With 15 minutes left on the clock, a 3-point ball game would have been the last thing Air Force wanted.
Number 11 off.
Right now it's a 6-point ball game, and as long as you're within touching distance of that 7-point margin, don't think anybody would really mind too much. Air Force have been the better team for a large part of the second half. But the momentum has just shifted, and Coach Shamli Nawaz just now choosing to use what's available for him on his bench. And Sashika Fernando comes on. Sashika, quite an experienced player. Dulanchana Vijayasinghe uses his body to field that ball and bumps off the first tackle, much to the delight of this home crowd of the police field force headquarters. Here's Madhusanka, lovely release of the hands there.
Back.
Rukshan Madhusanka was the recipient of that offload. And Shavin Jayawardena now to Shane Hopwood, and that's dropped cold by Prince Charmer, I think. So the hands really letting police down on that occasion after some really good build-up play.
Well, all the hard work goes in vain, and police trying to build up momentum. They're trying to get close, and finally errors costing them the game. But right now 11-5 on the board. Air Force, I'm sure if Air Force can hang on to this, their defense has been quite good, but even though momentum has shifted towards Police Chanaka, so I'm sure like in Police they can make this game, or rather they can turn this game around if they can put this pressure.
Kaluarachi has come into scrum half for Air Force, so they've substituted Nuan Perez. That ball was inside the 22, was it?
It was a nice bounce to touch Chanaka. It's close by, but again it should be Air Force throw in, I guess.
Back.
Rasit Silva will throw this ball in.
Back, get back. 10 meters.
To a shortened line out for police. And Dunal Fernando goes up, but can't really make the most of that steal. Fernando really competing there.
No, don't do that.
Making a nuisance of himself.
Use it.
Managed to upset one maul for police, but not the second one, as Prince Charmer puts this one high in the air. And that's a drop by Ramdas. Madhusanka just can't get it away, and unfortunately for him loses the ball on the ground, and it's really intense stuff here from both teams. Real pressure creation, and both teams succumbing to the pressure.
Well, for a moment I thought they had it. They were almost there. Good pressure, 3 against 2. And while handling errors, or maybe a little bit under pressure, coming with the tackle, they couldn't hold on to it. Had they taken it, 5 points would have been guaranteed. Look at that kick. Beautiful one. Not a clean collection there. Going under the ball, but still Ramdas unable to collect it. Loose ball, 3 against 2 situation, but again there, the Air Force defense quickly onto it. Beautiful stuff. 2 players going onto that ball carrier.
Well, it would have been a brilliant try if it had been scored. Kaluarachi, and now again for Madhushan with the wind. And Prince Charmer drops that one behind him. And referee Abekun says that was knocked forward. Prince Charmer can't believe his eyes as he felt it went back.
No.
Well, Chanaka, 3 occasions back to back. Prince Charmer, all 3 occasions when he called up to play and called into action, he causes there is 3 knockouts. Not going to be happy about his performance so far.
Nilfa Ibrahim would have brought him on for his experience. The former Science College player. He's been at police for a couple of years now after a stint at CR. He will be disappointed with that. Thought he dropped it backwards, thought he'd done everything he needed to do. Interesting to see Dulanjana Vijayasinghe binding down on the blindside flank.
Stay bound. No. Offside. Number 9 offside.
It's a mistake by Hopwood. Referee playing advantage, but not sure if Air Force want it. Gantid the Malgoda. Here it is through the new man, Isuru Jayaratna, but they'll come back for the penalty.
Offside. Number 9.
Nuan Pereira, without the last 2 kicks weighing on his mind, has opted to go to touch, and I think that's a sensible decision. Especially as they have the momentum with them at the moment.
Time off.
Shane Hopwood, the man just straying offside there, giving away that penalty.
22.
Well, they have the ball. They have to get a clean line out in Air Force. Shanaka 11-5. Still it's too thin.
Nicely won that time by Dunal Fernando, and unfortunately it has been spilt in the build-up play. Ishara Madhushan. Nuan Pereira coming in from fullback. Stepping in was Ramdas. Has done really well to take it to the 5-meter line. Kaluarachi. Few positional shifts, and here's the new man, Sashika Fernando.
No, you lost the ball.
Kaluarachi again for Gayantid the Malgoda, and that was almost snaffled by Prince Chamara. Be surprised if that's not a yellow card. Here's a big bustling run by Nirmal Vikramasinghe, who has been good this game. Lots of space now for Gayantid the Malgoda to play with, but unfortunately he just can't get it away to Denuan Vikramarachi, whose hands have let him down this game. But I would be very surprised if Prince Chamara doesn't see a yellow card here.
Number 15 come.
And yes, that's exactly what he is. Reached out and tapped that ball down. No intention of catching it. And his horror afternoon continues. So police will have to finish this game with just 14 men on the park.
Well, massive letdown. 3 back-to-back knock forwards and a yellow card. 4th occasion. This is not going to help him. And it's a massive final they are playing. 11-5, and police will be under pressure now. 15 against 14, already 6 points down.
So nicely stolen that time by Mohan Vimalaratne at the front of the line out. Dunal Fernando won't like that at all. Nice clearing kick from the boot of Shane Hopwood, and nicely pushed back into the field of play by Praveen Stefan. And that's a beautiful tackle. Outstanding hit. And Air Force will now chase this one down and just not able to get boot to ball. And what a hit from Vimukti Fernando. Cut the policeman in half. And the bouncing rugby ball just beating everyone to touch.
Well, that's a massive one. Once again, good opportunity there. Denied. And Air Force trying to make amendments and trying to add more points. But doesn't succeed. They don't succeed, actually. Look at that. Beautiful one. Bang! Massive, massive tackle. Praveen didn't have much chance, but quite missed opportunity again.
Gayantid the Malgoda might have had some patience there, just kicked it out of his captain's hands. And picking that ball up might have been the best thing they did.
Advantage.
But this dominant police scrum has not done enough.
So good kick to get back into the halfway mark. But still a long way to go. A lot of work to be done for police. If they can crack this Air Force defense and score, and that
Arush
could be the winner.
Ratnayake has come onto the pitch for Air Force as well. So ball off the back. Looked like there might have been a knock on somewhere there.
Get back, get back, get back.
As Kaluarachi, the replacement scrum half, waits for Gante Iddamalgoda. Spinning in the tackle nicely was the Air Force player. And Kaluarachi now looks for the box kick. Ball sitting up, no fullback remember, but it beats everyone to touch and they'll come all the way back for another scrum. So here we are coming to the closing minutes of this cup final, of this plate final I should say, in the Nippon Paints Rugby Championship. The league has been really hotly contested this time, especially between these two teams and the top four.
Bye. Set. Steady.
Air Force coming so close to beating Kandy up in Valisara as well.
Use the ball. Use
Lost
the
the first round game to police, but are now trying to make amends for that as Madhushankar carries hard into the defense. Dulanjana Vijayasinghe trying to get as much of the ball as he possibly can. Air Force doing their best to hold him up and try and create a maul, but to no avail.
Back.
Primesh Tanushkal. Ashant Tilakaratne leaves it behind.
No. Don't do that. No.
Police driven back to their 50-meter line, conceding at least 15 meters there. Upward. Tilakaratne, who's had a brilliant game in defense and in the tight, now forced to run as well. Good competing by Air Force at the breakdown. Here's Madhushankar. Has been their most dangerous backline player all evening. Nice stepping from the police outside centre, but not rolling away from Rumesh Ramdas, and he concedes the penalty. There's still time on the clock, of course. But will a penalty now be enough? Shavin Jayawardene will.
Well, Shanaka, from now onwards, whatever the decision they're going to make is going to be very crucial.
Last 2 minutes.
They couldn't make those right decisions in the first half, but the second half, right now, few minutes on the clock, and 6 points deficit. I'm sure they can make things work for them if they can get the right decision and if they can cross that Air Force line once again.
Akash Madhushankar just grabbing a little bit of air. He's been full of running this whole game, so he will be feeling the heat, as it were. Tilakaratne doing well. Shavin Jayawardene, but he hasn't found touch. And that's a big miss. Nuwan Pereira is the one who sends it back with interest. And Dulanjana Vijayasinghe is a rugby player, a cricketer, and he showed why he's a basketball player there as well, collecting his own rebound. And no release in the tackle as Dulanjana bumps his way into this Air Force team. And feeling the consequences of Dulanjana Vijayasinghe's freight train tactics is the Air Force player. We'll tell you who it is in a moment. Might be Nirmal Vikramasinghe, I think.
That was a massive hit. Was pretty much running into traffic, knowing it's going to be traffic. And look at that big hit. 1, 2, 3 players. He takes in 4, 5 in fact. So finally it takes 3 players to bring him down. This is not the first time that he carried that ball.
Well, I'd be very concerned about Nirmal Vikramasinghe there because he didn't really move after he hit him.
Time off. Time off.
So hopefully he'll go off for an HIA.
Number 3.
Didn't look like he knew where he was.
Number 3 change.
Well, Shanaka this time is a very good touch. In fact, a decent one too. And that will give them the opportunity to press further. Just 5 to 7 yards away from the touch line.
Well, a game that Air Force have looked like they've been winning for 78 minutes can go away from them in the last 2. And luckily for Air Force, there is a knock forward, so police overthrow that last line out. Just if they managed to get their driving maul going, they could have scored a 7-pointer and perhaps stolen the game at the death, but it's not to be for this police team, not yet anyway. Let's not forget that this is the area of the team that police have clearly been the best at in this game. This is the scrum. Few meters away from the Air Force line. And let's see whether the Air Force team can hold their nerve.
Bye.
Need all the support they can get from these boiler room boys. Dunal Fernando and Sashika Fernando at the back of the front 3.
Get up, get up, get up.
They cannot afford to give away a penalty at this scrum. These are the moments that these players live for, and when they come, are they up to it? Both coaches will be biting their fingernails. Ishan Kabekun will be hoping that the players manage to finish this in whichever way they choose.
Set. Steady. Steady. Save out.
Big drive.
Ball is available.
And driving straight up, says the referee. Thought Air Force managed to get away with that there. They're not playing the penalty. And that's the end of the game, it looks like. Beautifully done by Air Force. Police came so close in the dying moments of the game to maybe snatching a 7-pointer and trying to win this one 12 points to 11. It came off to a knife edge against these two teams in the first encounter in the league as well. But Rumesh Ramdas, the only try scorer of the game, he will be very happy. Ishara Madhushan will take a bit of time before celebrating. And this Air Force team, who were desperately unlucky not to make it into the Cup Championship, who would have been saying that we should have been up there playing with the big boys, have eventually won themselves a trophy. The silverware, after a hectic game, is with the Air Force boys from Ratmalana.
Well, what a victory for the Air Force. Police tried everything, and from the beginning they pushed everything, but a couple of bad decision making, but also good defense by Air Force. They were unable to crack that line, but finally, and they were able to do it, but by that time it was too late. But on the other hand, Air Force, they pushed from the beginning. They took all those opportunities and they made the right decisions, and they were able to get those points on the board. Narrow score, not a big difference, but still it's a good victory for Air Force. They've been waiting for it. I mean, Shanaka, had they gone into the cup segment, this wouldn't have been the result for them, but right now at least they're walking away with some silverware.
Absolutely, Clifford. They do get a trophy at the end of the day, and that's their trainer, Dilan Soiza, affectionately known as Kota. But he was sitting higher than many people, double his height there. And why shouldn't he be? He's made sure that this Air Force team is fit and able to go the distance. And that's congratulations to the man in charge, the coach Shamli Nawaz, who has taken this Air Force team without any big names in it. Has taken the experienced players that Air Force had, reinforced them with some Thomians in the form of Dunal Fernando and Revanka Abewardana, and brought in a few younger players in the form of Kalua Rachi, Arosh Ratnaika, Sashika Fernando crossed over from CR as well, the Whistleite, and Isuru Jayaratna. And he's managed to turn them into a trophy-winning side. Sure, he would have liked to be competing with the likes of Kandy, Heavies, and Navy, and CR and FC, of course. But he'll take the silverware. This is the man that is the top point scorer of the season. Still, technically, he could be overhauled. And he would have been a little upset when he was not able to do exactly what he was shown doing there. This is Air Force's only try. The only try of the game, in fact. Nice hands. Sorry, the only try that Air Force scored. And Ramdas getting in touch there. And here's Akash Madhusankar stepping back off the inside foot, creating that hole there for Heshan Tilakaratna to run into Prince Chamara with a nice handoff. And unfortunately for Chamara, that was the extent of his involvement, really, in a positive sense. So it's one try apiece. It's just the two penalties from Nuan Pereira that separate those two teams. Police coming to their home grounds, hoping that they could overhaul that 1 point deficit that they had at the 5th and 6th position at the table. But unfortunately for them, it was a hurdle too far, and Air Force wreaking revenge on their first round loss by ending up with a win.
Well, Shanak, I'm sure Nilfi Ibrahim will be taking a long look at that scorecard and missing the opportunities in the first half. Had they scored those penalties, or maybe they would have gone for those posts or the kicks, it would have been a different story. But right now, it's victory for Sri Lanka Air Force. Well-deserved one, played really hard, defended really well, and equally police did well. But unfortunately, they were unable to convert those opportunities into points.
We're going for a quick commercial break and be back with the presentation of the Nippon Paints Rugby League Plate Championship.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint.
सखी मन बंदिना विश्वासे हाथ बेदुना जीव ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 102ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
The largest paint supplier of Japanese vehicles, original equipment manufacturer approved, Nax Premila 2K is the most premium quality auto refinishing solution you will ever need.
Play to win the game. We'll take care of your aches and pains. Sidale Spray. Trusted for 8 decades for quick relief from all aches and pains.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint.
ආදරයේ සුව කැන්නා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 102ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
the largest paint supplier of Japanese vehicles. Original equipment manufacturer approved, Nax Premila 2K is the most premium quality auto refinishing solution you will ever need.
Play to win the game. We'll take care of your aches and pains. Siddhale Spray. Trusted for 8 decades for quick relief from all aches and pains.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint.
सखी मन बंदिना विश्वासे हाथ बेदुना जीवितये रसमावना
වසර 102ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
The largest paint supplier of Japanese vehicles. Original equipment manufacturer approved, Nax Premila 2K is the most premium quality auto refinishing solution you will ever need.
Play to win the game. will take care of your aches and pains. Siddhale Spray. Trusted for 8 decades for quick relief from all aches and pains.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint.
सखी मन बंदिना विश्वासे हद बेदुना ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
The largest paint supplier of Japanese vehicles, original equipment manufacturer approved, Nax Premila 2K is the most premium quality auto refinishing solution you will ever need.
Play to win the game. We'll take care of your aches and pains. Siddhale Spray. Trusted for 8 decades for quick relief from all aches and pains.
Hello there and welcome to the Nippon Paints Sri Lanka Rugby League Play Championship 2023. Air Force taking on Police. The game is ended and now we are about to head into the presentation ceremony. I would like to hand over the mic to our very own Mahesh Senanayaka.
Thank you very much, Clifford. We are ready here at the presentation area to hand over the Plate Championship and Nippon Paint Sri Lanka Rugby B Division Championship. I would like to first call upon following gentlemen to be at the presentation stage. First, I would like to invite Major General Chanaka Mettananda, Senior DIG Mr. Ranmal Kodidoku, Chairman of Rugby Sri Lanka Police, and also we would like to invite Mr. Nemanta Abe Singh, General Manager, Nippon Paint Lanka, who will be accompanied by Mr. Risley Ilyas, President of Sri Lanka Rugby, together with his council members, Mr. Roshan Dean, his Secretary, Mr. Nizam Jamal Dean, Deputy, Mr. Nalindi Silva, Treasurer H.M. Riaz, and Mr. Niranjan Abewardana. We would also like to have Tournament Director, Mr. Shamrat Fernando, here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we have worked very hard to complete Nippon Paint Lanka Sri Lanka Rugby 2023 season, and we are in the 10th week. And this Friday, as you have watched, enjoyed, we have just completed the Plate Championship. Yesterday, we could successfully stage B Division Championship, which is again Nippon Paint Sri Lanka Rugby League's B Division Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to first start off with handing over runners-up and the championship for the said B Division tournament and for respective winners. I would like to first call upon Major General Chanaka Mettananda to come forward and hand over the runners-up trophy of the B Division tournament. Out of 6 teams, ladies and gentlemen, it was a battle between Police Griffins and Army Four Wings, and Army could beat Police B Division team. Therefore, Police had to be contented by being the runners-up of B Division tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite the skipper of Police Griffins together with his team to come forward and accept the Nippon Paint Sri Lanka Rugby League B Division runners-up trophy. The championship of B Division tournament is named after Mr. Rudra Jasim. The trophy of this will be given by Senior DIG Mr. Ranmal Kodituaku, Chairman Sri Lanka Police Rugby. The champions of B Division tournament is Army Four Wings, and they will have Rudra Rajasingham trophy in their hands. Thank you very much. Now we move into the Plate Championship runners-up and championship. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, we Sri Lanka Rugby would like to appreciate and thank all the players who battled out this evening and gave us a splendid time of watching rugby of its highest level. The runners-up, as we know, it's the Police Sports Club. I would like to first invite Mr. Roshan Dean to come forward and hand over medals for the runners-up team. We kindly request Police SC to come forward and accept the medals. Thank you very much, Mr. Dean. I would like to now invite our treasurer, Mr. A.H.M. Riaz, to hand over the remaining medals. Thank you very much, Mr. Riaz. I would like to invite our tournament director, Mr. Shamrat Fernando, to come forward and hand over the medals. Our tournament director, who has been very successful in staging this tournament throughout the 10 weeks, together with his team. Now I invite Mr. Nippon Singh, the General Manager, Nippon Paint Lanka, to come forward and hand over the runners-up trophy to Police Sports Club. We would like to have the entire team together with your skipper. Championship, the plate championship, and it was a game where no quarter was given or asked, and it was a cleanly fought and battle out. And as I said, that we as spectators thoroughly enjoyed the stupendous performance by both teams. Eventually, at the end of the game, it was Sri Lanka Air Force who became the champions. I would like to now call upon Mr. Nippon Singh, together with Mr. Risley Ilyas, Secretary Mr. Nizam Jamaldeen, and Mr. Nalin De Silva, to come forward and first hand over the medals for the winners. Ladies and gentlemen, Nippon Paint Sri Lanka Rugby League 2023 Plate Championship. It goes to Sri Lanka Air Force. Out of which they could win 5 games, including the plate finals against Police SC. I would like to now invite Mr. Nizam Jamaldeen to come forward and hand over the medals. Meanwhile, now I would like to invite Mr. Nalin De Silva to hand over the remaining medals to the winning boys from Sri Lanka Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, Sri Lanka Air Force have had quite a successful tournament this year. They first won the Sevens Championship, now the Plate Championship of Nippon Paint Sri Lanka Rugby League 2023, coached by able Shamli Namas. Today they have marked their presence, felt very well, and have emerged champions by beating Police Sports Club 11 points to 5 points. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite once again Mr. Nippon Singh to come forward together with Mr. Risley Ilyas and hand over the championship to the winning team, Sri Lanka Air Force, champions of the plate segment of Nippon Paint Sri Lanka Rugby League 2023. As we conclude the 10th week, what we have completed is the Plate Championship of Nippon Paint Sri Lanka Rugby League 2023 here at the Police Grounds. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we will be going up to stage the Cup Championship between Kandy Sports Club and CRFC in Nitawala, and we believe that all rugby loving fraternity in Sri Lanka, and for that matter people who live overseas, will join us with the live stream day after tomorrow, as we are going to live stream the Cup Championship between Kandy Sports Club and CRFC at 4 p.m. Sri Lanka time. Ladies and gentlemen, while we thank all of you for the continuous support given to Sri Lanka Rugby, now I would like to hand over the microphone to commentary box to Clifford. Over to you, Clifford.
Thank you, Mahesh. And look at that victorious team, Sri Lanka Air Force, winning the silverware this season under the leadership or the guidance of Shamli Nawaz. Well, they contested very well, they fought very well, they had some very narrow losses, but again, here today, they showed what they are made of. And fantastic team, a jubilant team, they really well played well to earn that victory. And there you go, that's the match coming up. And that's going to be the Rugby Sri Lanka Rugby Nippon Paint Inter-Club Rugby League 2022. That's tomorrow's games. Army Sports Club taking on CHNFC. That's on 18th February. And also Havelock's Navy. That's going to be another thriller. And this is happening at Havelock Park. And Army Sports Club versus CHNFC at Army Grounds in Panagoda. So these are the two games coming up. And another big game. And that's going to be the big game. The massive game. The cup final. And that's coming on 19th February. Kandy Sports Club, the unbeaten defending champions, will be taking on the high-rising CRNFC, and that's going to be live and exclusive from Kandy Rugby Stadium in Nittawala. In fact, Nittawala Rugby Stadium from Kandy, and that's going to be brought to you live on Sri Lanka Rugby Tuskers page. So stay tuned. Plenty of action for the weekend. Tomorrow 2 games, and this is the big game coming up on Sunday. Kandy Sports Club taking on CRNFC. There you go, that's the Plate Championship, and this is what they've been playing for. And Sri Lanka Air Force taking on Sri Lanka Police.